Sidney O'Reilly. Sidney, are you there? I know everyone's here, but I know we're having a little trouble with the muting, but are you there, Sidney? Give her
I'm
1
here.
second. Okay, perfect.
I am.
Yeah, go ahead. Introduce yourself if you would, and just tell us what you've experienced.
Well, as I was saying, my husband and I have such a sense of mission and purpose involved with this product because of our experience. I was chronically depressed from like 17 years old to in my mid-40s. And it was, I was hospitalized for 5 weeks, and I had 6 children at home, which was not a good circumstance. And when I got out of the hospital, I decided I don't want to do this anymore. And I'd had hours and hours of therapy and took the things that I felt were helpful and started concentrating on that and threw out all the things that weren't so helpful, and worked for about 3 years to reprogram my thought process, which really helped. And I was at least at a point where I wanted to be on the planet, and that's something to be truly grateful for. But there was still a sense of irritability, anger, guilt, dread, I mean, you name it, every negative emotion that I'd have to wake up in the morning and battle. And I would tell myself every day, today's going to be different. You know, I'm going to be kinder to my husband and going to be this person that I know I can be. And I would battle daily. And then 3 or 4 years ago, I read a book called The Sugar Addict's Total Recovery Program. And in its pages, I found myself. And it talked about how some people are affected by white flour and white sugar. Their brain chemistry is actually affected. And I thought, well, this is worth a try, you know. And so I did. I took myself off of white flour and white sugar and found that I didn't have to battle quite so hard, which was a miracle to me, and I was so grateful. But so 1 week, like last April, 3 people talked to me about Q Essentials, only none of them really tried to recruit me or sell it to me, but they were just telling me what a great product it was. And I wasn't even sure what it was about. But we went to the Women's Expo at the end of April, and they had a booth there. And because I'd heard so much about it, I just practically ran into that booth and said, tell me about your product. Because I'd gotten the impression it was nutrients for the brain, and I knew that my brain reacted to nutrients. And so they told me the story. They asked me if I'd be willing to buy a sample, and that, boy, was I, yes. I mean, there was no question. And we got the sample home, and my husband started saying, okay, when we start taking it. And I said, no way. I knew I needed it, and so I was going to take it. So by the 3rd day, I felt a difference. And by 7 days, it was like I was let out of prison. And I knew that this was something I needed. And that was several months ago. And then I began taking the Q Essentials. And it's just been a miraculous journey. Not that there hasn't been a few valleys and hills, but like I said, I'm a different person. And I jokingly tell people I took a pill and my husband got better because I was no longer irritable and no longer woke up at night with feelings of dread and anxiety and guilt. And Dr. Amen is also a brain specialist, and he talks about automatic negative thoughts. He calls them ants that march through your brain. And on Q96, all of that went away. And it was like I could finally see my life as it really is. And it's just been such a joy, and it's something that I never want to be without. And I'm so grateful. And thank you for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. That's such a beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing that and for being